Hey, what's up? It's your boy, B Slash, and I'm welcoming you to the Miss Pollman final exam review. You have your final exam in a few days, and so this will help you out tremendously on it. Let's roll. Your first thing on your final is linear equations. So what you do is you're given a graph that looks like this, and we have to find the slope, y-intercept, and make an equation. I want you to pause your recording now and do this. All right, I always like to start on my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is just where it crosses this y line right here. And here's 0, so it crosses the y line at 2. Now, my slope is, you have to pick 2 points that are directly on the line. There's a point right there that's on the line, and here's a point that's right here on the line. Sorry, my smartboard's a little bit off. But it's rise over run. So it rises, it goes down 1, and it goes over 1, 2. That is my slope. My final equation is y equals my slope. X always goes next to my slope, and then plus my y-intercept. That is how to do that whole problem. Next problem is a little bit more challenging. Again, we have to write a linear equation, but we have to do it without graphing. So, pause this now and go ahead. How you do this is, first thing you do is you start out y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. So, my second y is 2. Wow, my smartboard's way off. My second y is 2, and my first y is 7. My second x is 3, and my first x is 2. When I have that, I do my math. 2 minus 7 is negative 5, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So I have negative 5 over 1, or negative 5 is my slope. Now, I have to do my whole equation, so I'm going to erase this piece right here. Remember, my slope is negative 5. So my equation is y equals negative 5x plus b. My goal now is to find my b. How I do that is I have to pick one of these equations. I'm going to pick that equation right there. My x is 3, so I'm going to take this out. Take out my x. Take out my x and put in a 3. Now, I'm going to take out my y, and I'm going to put in a 2. All I'm doing is substituting x for x and y for y. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15, plus b equals 2. My goal is to get b by itself, so I have to do the opposite of minus 15, which is plus 15. Plus 15, b equals 17. So I know my slope is negative 5. I know my y int is 17. So my final equation is y equals negative 5x plus 17. There is a question almost identical to that on the test. I know I moved quick because we've done that many times, but if you don't know, please come see me right away. Next question, a little bit of a word problem. So Bobby has a company, and he's being paid $1,500, $1,500 to do landscaping, fix someone's yard. He doesn't know how many people he needs to complete the job, but he wants to create a table to determine how much each person should get. So if Bobby has 6 employees, show the amount each person gets if they help out. So we're going to do my table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I want you to pause your recording now and complete the table. All right, so if only one person works, obviously they get all $1,500. Oh, excuse me, this includes, so, excuse me, so they get $1,500. If two people work, that is just 1,500 divided by 2, which is $750. Now, you do that all the way down. So 1,500 divided by 3 is 500. 15 divided by 4 is 375. 1,500 divided by 5 is 300. And 1,500 divided by 6 is $250. That's how much each person gets on this job. Now, we have to describe the pattern. Again, pause it and go ahead. The pattern is simple. As more people, as this goes up, as more people get involved in the job, the amount each person gets goes down. Here's what I'm going to caution you against is we know from our math teachers that they need detail. So you can't say when one goes up, the other goes down. You have to be specific. When the number of people goes up, the amount each person gets paid goes down. Last one, everyone's favorite, is what is the equation? I want you to use P for paid and number of people and go. The equation is each person gets paid based on 1,500, that's the total cost, and then divided by n, by the number of people. That's all we did. It was 1,500 divided by 2, gave us the answer. 1,500 divided by 3 gave us the answer. So that's all you do for the equation. All right, let's take a look at some equations. So I want you actually to do both of these at the same time. So I want you to pause your recording and see if you can solve for your variable on both one of these equations. Go. The goal of any algebra problem is to get the variable by itself. So this is my variable, x. I have to get it by itself. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite of minus 16. It's plus 16, plus 16. That gives me 20. Cancels that out. I have negative 4x equals 20. Divide by negative 4 to get x by itself. Divide by negative 4. X equals negative 5. One almost identical to that one on the test. Next one is a little bit more challenging. We have to get the variables together. I always like to move my smaller variable. My smaller variable is the negative 1x here. So I'm going to do the opposite, which is plus x plus x. That crosses that out. I have negative 5 equals 7x plus 9. Gotta get x by itself, just like the last one. Minus 9, minus 9. That's negative 14 equals 7x. Divide by 7. Divide by 7. X equals negative 2. Again, I know I went through that quickly. Come and see me if you need any help with that. Let's move right along to the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'll actually write that down. If you remember this problem, it is on, we did it about 100 times. It's on a previous test. This exact problem is on this test. So you're going to have to do the whole problem on the last test, but we're just going to look at the area right now because it would take me a long time to go through everything. So let's find the area of this figure. The area is, I got to find the box route. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 7. That's my box. 7 times 7 is 49, so my area of my big box is 49. Now I got to cut things out. So if I do my Pythagorean theorem, my A is 1, 2, 3, 4. My A is 4. My B is 1, 2, 3. My B is 3. And I don't know C. That's C. Oh, excuse me. I don't need to do Pythagorean theorem yet. I'm sorry. Sorry, I messed up. So I have my triangle. I just have to find the area of the triangle. I have to do base times height divided by 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Divided by 2 is 6. That means this triangle is 6, which means this triangle is 6, which means this triangle is 6, and that triangle is 6. When I add 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, I get 24. I can cut 24 out of my big box and get my area of my small box. My area of my small box is 25. Which means each one of these sides right here, these are each the length of 5. I hope that helps. Again, find your old test with this problem on it. The whole problem, the exact same problem we did, is on this test. All right, so this is one that is on the test exactly. So Scott walks 40 yards west from his house, and he walks 70 yards, another 70 yards to school. So when I walk, his normal route, when I go 40 and 70, his normal route is 110 yards to school. Now, if he takes a shortcut, cuts through the field, cuts through houses, whatever, if he cuts through right there, that is his shortcut. The way I can find the length of the right triangle is Pythagorean theorem. So I'd have 40 squared plus 70 squared equals c squared. 40 squared, let me grab my calculator. 40 squared is 1,600. 70 squared is 4,900 equals c squared. So when I add these two together, 49 plus 16, I get 6,500 equals c squared. Now, the opposite of squared is to square root to get c by itself. If I take the square root of 6,500, his new route is 80.6 yards. This route right here, he goes 80.6 yards. Got it? That's how you find the shortcut. Now, it says how much shorter is his shortcut than his original route. Remember, his original route was 110, so he walked here to here. His shortcut is only 80.6. So, if I do 110 minus 80.6, I get about, my final answer, it is about 29.4 yards shorter. All I did was take the original route, minus it by his new route, and that is how I do that problem. Know that problem, wink, wink, hint, hint. These next two are also very similar to what's on the test. Numbers are changed just a little bit, but you have to determine if these are right triangles. Remember, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So just plug the numbers in. You should remember these from before, and go ahead, do it now. All right, so if I plug these in, 12 squared plus 16 squared equals 20 squared. 20 squared is 400. 12 squared is 144. 16 squared is 256. When I add 144 and 256 together, I get 400. And that does equal 400. Both sides came out the same. So my answer is yes, that is a right triangle. My next one, 12 squared plus 9 squared equals 16 squared. 16 squared from the last one was 256. 12 squared is 144. 9 squared is 81. If I add 144 plus 81, I get 225. That does not equal 256. They did not come out the same way. This answer is a big, fat, ugly no. Now, again, I'm going to take a little bit more time going through this one because this one's a little bit more complicated. But this is the exact same problem from a previous test. This is a common thing teachers do is take problems off previous tests. And this was a hard one, and we had trouble with this one. So I want to make sure we go back through it. But I have a shape, and I have A to C. I have C to E, S to E, and A to S. And I have to find the area. The way to do that is to, again, put a box around the whole thing. Make sure you get all the points within your box, and we have to find the area of the outside box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. My black box is 28. Now, I have to cut things out. Immediately, I see I can cut out these two boxes right there. So I can minus 2. I can do the same thing up top. I can cut out 2 boxes, minus 2. Now, if I look on the bottom in red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. 5 times 1 is 5. We have to find the area. Divided by 2, 1/2 base times height. My area of my bottom one is 2.5, which means my area of this one is also 2.5. When I put 2.5 and 2.5 together, I get 5, so I can cut out 5 more. Last one I'm also going to do in red is if I have this triangle, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2 times 3 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. That one's 3, which means that one's 3. When I put that together, I can minus 6 more. And I just knocked out all of my triangles. So 28 minus 2 is 26. Minus 2 is 24. Minus 5 is 19. Minus 6 is 13. That is the area. Again, you've had this on a previous test. So I know I went through it quickly, but I hope that helped. Now you have to find the length of all the sides. I am not going to take the time to do this because we've done this. But if you have from here to here, you can make a triangle out of this. And you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squared plus 1 squared equals c squared. That's 25 plus 1 equals c squared. So that's 26. Take the square root of it. This length right here of this line is the square root of 26. You have to do that for every side. Remember, your bottom length and your top one will be the same. So you would also have to do it for this one right here. If you don't know how to do this, please come see me immediately. This is on here, and you should have this on a previous test you got back. It's the exact same problem. I'm going to erase all this. Let's keep looking through some of these ones. How do the side lengths compare? You should be able to find that once you do it. The distance from A to E. This is one people often get confused on. If I go A to E right here, let me go back so you can see the question. It says, what is the distance from A to E? So A to E, I draw a line. If I do this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can do the Pythagorean theorem, and that distance is my distance from A to E. 7 squared is 49. 4 squared is 16 equals c squared. 49 plus 16 is 65. And then I just take the square root of that, and that'll be my distance. My square root of 65 is 8.06. So this line right here is 8.06. And your last one you need to know from this problem is equation from S to C. This one's a little bit harder. This is the one that a lot of us missed from last time. The first part of this video, I taught y'all how to find equations. Okay? So I'm going to erase all this. I go S to C right here. My equation is I go down 2 over 3 x plus b. Now, I'm going to take one of the points. I'll take s. My coordinates for s are x is 1 and y is 4. All I do is I plug those numbers in. So I have 4 is my y, x is my 1, negative 2 over 3 times 1 is negative 2 over 3, plus b equals 4. The opposite of minus 2 over 3 is to plus 2 over 3, plus 2 over 3. So my b equals 4 and 2/3, which means my final equation is y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 4 and 2/3. That was a very commonly missed one last time. If that confused you, go back to the very beginning of this video. We're getting close, guys. Now we're going to look at fractions. For these right here, all you do is use your calculator and you say whether it is terminating or repeating. I am not going to go through this one because I know we all aced this one last time. All you do, this sign right here just means divide. So you do 11 divided by 3, and then you say if it stops, if it terminates, or if it repeats and goes on for forever. Scientific notation. Pause it now. You guys should know how to do this. Scientific notation. Write these both in scientific notation. Go. All right, for scientific notation, my decimal goes after my first one, so 2.0632. Stop it when there's the rest are zeros, and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I moved 8 spaces, so it's 10 to the 8th. The negative ones are a little bit harder, but this is 4.9. I just put the decimal after the first one, count to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Times 10, it got smaller, moved in the negative direction to the negative 7. See me if you need help on those. All right, now we have them in scientific notation. Flip them back to regular form. Pause it now. Okay, so I have this number. I have 4.605. This first one tries to trick you. The negative direction is that way, so I move it 1, 2, 3, 4. Decimal. Right there. Take that decimal out. Oops, I'm sorry. My board is freaking out. You should have that number right there. 0.004605 is your final answer. All I do is count. If you're doing math and scientific notation, you're doing it wrong. Just count, count, count. This other one I have 6.407. Got to move it 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put in your zeros. Start at this side right here and put in your commas. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. You should have 6,407,000. That is how you do scientific notation, my good friends. Exponential equations, then we are done with this review. Again, in my class, you have done this one before, and it will be on the test again. It was off your last quiz, which was like 2 days ago. So, Mr. Slade wins the lottery, and he can start paying his students to answer questions correctly on their test. The first one they get right, they get $10. The second one they get right, it doubles. It's up to 20. So, it starts at 10, doubles to 20, and it keeps doubling. Pause it, do the rest now, and sketch me a quick graph. Go. All right, so keep doubling this out. This should go to 80, 160, 320, and 640. Your graph. I am not going to take the time to do your graph. Exponential graphs always look like this, so they start small, get huge really quick. That's how all exponential graphs look. You will have to graph this problem right now. Last piece of it is you have to write an equation. So remember, exponential equations, we write where we start. So my E equals, I started on 10, and then comes my growth factor. I times by 2, so, and then I have my exponent. Here, I asked you to use C. Last one, I want you to pause it now and see if this equation is correct. If it's not correct, see what you need to do to fix it. So let's take a look to see if it's correct. The way I look to see if it's correct is I take one of my numbers here and I put it in for my exponent. I'm going to use 2 because it makes it easy. So if I put in 2 for C, if I take out that C and I put in a 2, 2 to the second power is 4. 4 times 10 is 40. So for some reason I put in this number and I got 1 below it. The way you fix that is you minus it by 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 to the first power is 2. 2 times 10 is 20. So my final equation will look exactly like this. You have to minus your exponent minus 1. Again, that's going to be on there again. That is the end of my Pollman review. I absolutely raced through that. If you have any questions, see me and look at your old tests. Most of your problems on here are from old tests. Let me know if you need anything. Good luck, and thank you.